What's up, dudes? My name is Nick. Welcome to another song review to share a little bit more thoughts and a little bit deeper of thoughts to my song, or to the song Rollercoaster from Chungha. So of course, my music video reactions are really just first impressions. They're not really, I would say, my final thoughts sometimes, or most of the time. I kind of develop other things that I think, and of course, my opinion might change whether I like a song more or less. So these song reviews are kind of to discuss songs in a little bit more depth, and of course share a little bit of a change in opinion potentially, and of course just talk about some other things relating to the song. So for this one, like I said, we're talking about the song Rollercoaster, which I have fallen in love with, or which I had fallen in love with since I first heard it. Which, of course, to make this song review, I had to listen to it like extensively, or I wanted to listen to it extensively. And I don't really make these reviews unless I really feel like I have some other things to say. There's more interesting stuff to talk about. So, yeah, I guess you could say from my first reaction to this song, or from my first listen to the song, like I really loved it. And then the more that I listened to it, the more that I had it on repeat, the more that it played, I'm in love with this song. I think that this song is absolutely fantastic. Of course, as I said in my reaction video, I think this is a much better song than, was it What Do You Know? I think it was her debut song. I think it's a much better song than this, and than that one, and that's always a good thing to see an idol or a band or a singer or whoever, get better and make, I think, noticeable improvements by majority of fans can kind of notice that between her debut and her first comeback that she's actually gotten better, even though maybe, has it been 6 months? I think it's been like 6 months or something like that, or maybe less than that. It's been at most 6 months, I think, since that song was released up till now. And so over that short period of time, to see that she's kind of, improved and gotten better is always good. So I got a couple more things that I want to talk about and just share my thoughts on in regards to this song. So first off, I want to talk about her vocals. Now, I don't really want to do this. I don't really want anyone to think about this as like in the context of me, criticizing or critiquing or anything like that, her singing, because first off, I'm absolutely not qualified to talk about that. I don't have any sort of knowledge to talk about the vocals. The only thing that I can talk about that is the way that it actually kind of sounds to me and my ears, which I guess qualifies me, but at the same time, like, where I have taken music classes, so I have a tiny amount of like actual music knowledge in my brain. I haven't taken any sort of vocal classes, so I don't have any sort of knowledge in that regard. So, just want to talk about this briefly because I think it's the most interesting point that I've been able to pull out of both of these songs from Chungha, and I think it could potentially be a really major talking point around this album in specific, which is titled Offset, I believe, and also just her future, something to consider that I hope the company actually does kind of consider for the next release. And the main thing that I'm pulling out of this, and the main thing that I'm wondering, is why is it that for every single promo song that she's got, her vocals they sound horrible when you compare them to the vocals of the other songs on the album. Like, if you haven't listened to Offset yet, like, you definitely should go listen to it, because like there's fantastic, the other songs on this album are really good as well. They're equally as good as Rollercoaster, if not better, but of course they're completely different genres, so maybe you won't like it, but the only way to know that is to actually listen to it. But the vocals in those songs in compared to Rollercoaster are so much better. They just sound so much nicer than however it is that she's singing in Rollercoaster. And I don't understand why the vocals in her promo songs is so much worse than the vocals in the album tracks. Like, I don't get it. I would think that if I was composing a song, or if I was producing the song and mixing it and doing all the stuff to produce it, that I would actually try and do something that actually sounds good and fits her voice perfectly. Which, whatever they're telling her to do, because I'm pretty sure that she's being coached on how to sing for these songs, it just doesn't sound as good as it possibly can. And it really doesn't really, it doesn't showcase what her actual vocal ability is. It really does her a huge disservice because, I listened to her debut song. I was like, maybe she can't sing that well. And that would be like, not really a critique on her, but it definitely wouldn't be a positive point. It wouldn't be, a reason that I would like her. Like I like Taeyeon because she can sing, and that's a really big, really big positive point for her. But, listening to the promo songs for Chungha, there's no, positive point relating to her vocal quality because it just isn't there. Not really. It's just is not as good as it could be. And so the thing that I'm hearing a lot in these promo songs is that, especially when she starts getting up to like higher notes and when she starts putting more power into her voice, that she just can't do it. It just isn't, that ability isn't necessarily there. Like she kind of starts to lose a little bit of the control of her voice, of the, whatever it is that she's doing. So you kind of lose a little bit of the power that like nearly every other vocalist can do when they start going up the range like that. And it also, the sustain and how long that those, higher notes are actually held for, and how long she is actually in those areas is also not very long, which just kind of, shows to me that in the way that she's being told to sing, she just cannot really hit the, the higher notes, to that well. And, it's pretty sad, I think, because, listening to her other songs, like she definitely can throw out some power. Maybe she can't hit, throw out some like high notes when it comes to power, but like, there's one song off of this album that she's hitting like powerful, vocals and powerful, vocal progressions and stuff like that, like Ailey does, which is, not necessarily super, super high pitched, although Ailey can hit those high notes very well as well. But, she does, Ailey just throws out some really nice, deep, powerful vocals. Chungha can do that too. Like she absolutely can. So my question is, why don't we hear that kind of stuff, or what she's really good at in her promo songs? And then you could put the songs like 롤러코스터 with the really forced vocal tone and style into the album track, into the album or something like that. It's kind of a question that I've got. So I don't really know. And I talked about this for way much longer than I thought that I was going to, but it really is like the main point of this song that I've taken away that I kind of want to discuss, because her vocals in this song could be so much better. They sound really good and they fit pretty well with the song, so that's probably a good reason why she's been told and the way that things have come out the way that they have. But at the same time, like I think that they could be better and show what she can do on like as her abilities a lot more. So I'm really interested in hearing, how that develops, because, going from her debut song to now, I can actually, kind of tell that she's gotten a little bit better in her promo song, even though her vocal ability is being killed, I think, or suppressed based on how she's being coached how to sing for these songs. And, I'm interested to see what sort of adjustments and what changes, happen to the way that she sings in her upcoming promo song. So moving off of her vocals, because I talked about that for way too long, we're going to briefly just run down a little bit of the actual things that I really enjoyed about the music aspect of it. So it's a little bit of an interesting blend of, I think, electric genre. So of course, in my reaction video, I kind of picked out a little bit of retro synth pop, like 80s, maybe 90s kind of influenced in it, which is very much there, I think, during the chorus, and you can hear it in like the synths part, more higher notes, higher pitches in the song. Somebody in the comments, I believe, unless I'm getting this mixed up with a completely different song, had mentioned that it kind of reminds them a little bit of some like Europop kind of thing, which I also hear that, because I think, which I haven't listened to a whole lot of Europop to be completely honest, but one of the big things about Europop is some really strong and I guess aggressive, if that makes any sense, like sort of percussion beat in a song. And this song definitely does have a very, very obvious, sort of percussion aspect to this song, which is not necessarily percussion per se, like it is drums, but it's more like a bass beat that you can hear. So something like that, it is very, very prominent in this song, very, very strong, very, very noticeable. And I think that is definitely a little bit of a Europop sort of thing. So it's an interesting sort of blend of genres, because I think that the basis of the song was written mostly as like a Europop song, and then they sort of added some flair to it by adding a little bit of, retro synth sounds to it to give it a little bit of a different feel, and to kind of change up the, a little bit of the, I guess, the nuance in the song, which I think is good. It definitely, it obviously caught my attention as I was listening to the song for the first time. So it worked out really, really well. The melody of the vocal, obviously, as with like any other song that you listen to, is really the hook of this song. It's got me hooked. The initial flow of the chorus, it just really fits perfectly with the beat of the song, which then perfectly leads into the actual melody of the song. The whole roller coaster part, as she just explores the vocal range and all that kind of stuff. It's a really good sort of progression to just kind of to slowly sort of build up into the focal point of the chorus, which is what wins you over for the song. So I really enjoyed it. So this is a really good song, obviously, like I've just said, for many reasons. Her voice and the way that she's been told to sing is a little bit of a head scratcher to me, to be completely honest. But I'm not the professional. All I do is listen to the music and share my really basic thoughts on it. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and we'll just leave it to the professionals and trust them that they know what they're doing. But they gave us a really good song. The vocals are good. The music and the instrumentation of it is much more interesting than her previous song was, and that I think is definitely a plus side. So her debut song was obviously a really trendy sort of song, well, she was going to get attention no matter what, to be completely honest, but it was something that gave her, more attention, more recognition, more success that she might have otherwise gotten. And, which was a good way to just build, to get started, and then move into something like this, which is very, very interesting. So that's really all I got to say, in addition to what I had to say about my first impression reaction video. So if you guys have got anything else to say now that you have, gotten a chance to listen to this song a little bit more, anything that you want to say in response to anything that I said in this video, any other additional thoughts that you have got to share, put them down in the comment box below. And just don't be afraid to share. If you don't like this song, you don't like this song. It's perfectly fine. I want to know why. There's other people in the community that want to know why as well. So throw your thoughts on that stuff down in the comments below. If you want to join that community that I'm trying to build, that's all about having some free and open discussion about our thoughts and opinions, no matter what they are, please do consider clicking on the subscribe button right down below. And also click on that bell icon so that you can turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my videos that I upload in the future. So that's going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all next time.